मैच का विनिंग शॉट लगाने में तो हर कोई इंटरेस्टेड है, लेकिन उस विनिंग शॉट तक पहुंचने के लिए कितनी एफर्ट और कितनी मेहनत इन्वॉल्व है, उसके बारे में कोई बात नहीं करता। और उसी मेहनत और एफर्ट को हम लोग लर्निंग बोलते हैं। लर्निंग इज अ वेरी स्लो एंड टायरसम प्रोसेस, एंड whosoever undergoes the process of learning always wins every battle of life. Hi, I'm Anuj Verma, your physics teacher, and I shall be telling you all those tricks which will definitely help you improving your percentile in JEE. Well, in the last episode, I discussed with you the topics of laws of motion and work energy and power. But somehow I just forgot to cover up the topic of friction. In this episode, first I'll be covering up the topic of friction, and then I'll be going on to the next two topics, the circular motion and the rotational motion. The topic of friction begins with the definition that friction is a force which opposes motion. Well, this is not always correct. In many cases, force of friction is also responsible for motion. तो ये कहना कि force of friction always opposes motion, ये गलत होगा. Force of friction opposes the relative motion. Then you should know the cause behind friction, what actually causes friction. Then you should know the types of friction, the rolling friction and the sliding friction. And basically, the topic of sliding friction is in detail in +1. Then sliding friction has three parts: the static force of friction, the limiting force of friction, and the kinetic friction. You should be very clear about the direction in which the force of friction acts. The rest of the topics in the chapter of friction are quite simple, like angle of friction, angle of repose, friction involved when the block is pushed up or when it is prevented from sliding down. All these things are manageable, and you must do all these topics. Even friction involved in pulling and pushing is easy. The only topic left in friction is when one block is lying over the another block and you're supposed to find out the friction involved between them. Well, this topic is difficult, and if you do not know how to solve the problems based on this topic, then my suggestion is that it's better to leave this. Then the next topic is the circular motion, and the circular motion involves the angular parameters, and almost all the angular parameters are axial vectors. आपको एक्सियल वेक्टर्स और पोलर वेक्टर्स में क्या फर्क है वो पता होना चाहिए. एंड हाउ डू वी रिप्रेजेंट द डायरेक्शन ऑफ एक्सियल वेक्टर्स दैट जनरली इन्वॉल्व्स द क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट, उसके बारे में आपको अच्छी जानकारी होनी चाहिए. सर्कुलर मोशन इन्वॉल्व्स द टर्म्स लाइक एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट, एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, angular acceleration, and these are almost similar to what you people have read in motion in straight line. Their relations with each other also and with their linear counterparts should be known to you. Then it involves centripetal acceleration and banking of tracks. Definitely, if you know the relations, then you can easily do the problems based on them. Well, circular motion also involves the conical pendulum, and if by chance you do not know conical pendulum, then you can afford to leave this topic. It's my suggestion. Last topic involved in circular motion is motion in vertical circle. The topic is quite simple, and even if you people have not prepared it, you can prepare it within 2 hours. You must do motion in vertical circle. Generally, questions come based on this topic, and you must do it. Next chapter is rotational motion, which doesn't fall in the favorite list of most of the students. इसके दो कारण हैं. नंबर एक, वो इन टर्म्स को पहली बार सुनते हैं, and number two, they just do not know where to apply these terms. It's very difficult for them to visualize all these terms. Well, इस वक्त उन रिलेशंस का रीजन जानने की कोशिश मत करिए. आप उन सभी रिलेशंस को याद रखिए so that you can just do a few questions based on rotational motion if they appear in your JEE exam. The chapter of rotational motion starts with the concept of center of mass. You should know how to locate the position of center of mass, how to find out the velocity of center of mass, and the acceleration of center of mass. And then next topic is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia के सारे questions, लगभग सारे questions, theorems of moment of inertia involve करते हैं. The theorems of perpendicular axes and theorem of parallel axes. Well, you have to cover up these two theorems if you want to solve the problems based on moment of inertia. And then next two topics are the angular momentum and torque. वेल जो हमने लॉज ऑफ मोशन में मोमेंटम कवर किया था एग्जैक्टली उसी तरह से वी हैव एंगुलर मोमेंटम इन रोटेशनल मोशन. The linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity, and the angular momentum is the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity. There we had law of conservation of linear momentum, and here we have law of conservation of angular momentum. F is 0, then momentum is constant. Here torque is 0, the angular momentum is constant. Almost all the terms, they are just going side by side. This was a complete summary of the two chapters, circular motion and rotational motion. And I hope this must have helped you in preparing these two topics. Well, if you find my content really useful in the preparation of JEE exam, then please do share it and subscribe my channel. It won't cost you anything, but it'll definitely help me grow. Thank you so much.